What it is, y'all, it's your boy Jones. And if you want updates to all the Jones of Sports content, I'm going to need y'all to...
Come on, push the button!
Yeah, come on, push your button!
Push the goddamn button!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button, y'all. I need y'all, before we start any goddamn thing, before we get into anything about the Super Bowl, we need to talk about y'all hitting that goddamn button. Hit that button, subscribe so y'all can see more updates because we got a lot more great content coming up, especially for the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Super Bowl, next week let me introduce the show first. Let me do that. Let me just do that first. What it is, y'all? It's your boy, y'all. It's gonna be a long one. It's your boy Jones, and welcome to another episode of the Jones and Podcast, brought to you by Jones and Sports. We make sports better. And as always, I'm brought to you with my co-host, E in the building, representing the Denver Broncos. And then we got my guy, my brother, Nico over there, representing the NFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles. How you feeling, my brother?
Oh, I'm on top of the world again. Feel good to be back. 2023 was yesterday. That was right there. Oh man, feels good to be back. Fun fact. Fun fact for you fellas. Super Bowl fun fact for you fellas.
Frozen.
Jalen Hurts, who is 25 years old, right? Jalen Hurts was born. He went through primary school. He went through middle school. He went through high school. He went through college. He's played a full NFL career to this point. He's in his second Super Bowl since the Cowboys have last made an appearance. Like, Jalen Hurts has lived a full existence.
I knew that was happening.
That man has lived a full existence and then some since we've last seen Dallas reach this level of success.
Listen,
I think since we've seen them in an NFC Championship game, to be exact. But you know,
hey, to add on to it, I'll add a little more spice on it. This is your fourth Super Bowl appearance
in the last 8 years.
Fourth Super Bowl appearance, plus 2 Super Bowl appearances by the Giants. So that's 6 Super Bowl appearances that I have to watch from within my own division. And then you could add Commanders if you want to talk about champions.
Commanders made an NFC Championship run.
So that's 7.
Them niggas got a name change.
Like,
no, 2. Because remember, they were the Washington football team.
Oh, facts. They were the WFT.
Yo, y'all trying to start the show off with Jones for smoke already? God damn! I thought
you brought it up. Like, you added the spice. I just was like,
y'all get me hot already. God damn.
I was just sitting here reading up on some Super Bowl fun facts, that's all. And that one caught my eye. That was all.
Well, as y'all can see, y'all, we're going to have a very interesting show today with Philly being the NFC champions. But like I said, Super Bowl party, Super Bowl, February 6th at the Candy's Palace. Me, Nico, and E getting together. Put a bunch of people from New York that's going to be pulling up with us, having a good time. We're going to be live streaming the show straight from the spot, so y'all can see the live reactions, the live content, the other people that will be in the building. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely tune in as you watch the game. You could chime in with your comments and things like that, and we'll definitely put it out there. Shout out to you, Queen Premier. What's up? Always showing love. You already know the vibes. But yeah, so definitely as y'all watching the game, make sure I just hit y'all wherever y'all want to watch it. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, wherever y'all want to watch it. As y'all watching the game, make sure y'all got that on your phones or whatever the case may be, so y'all can join in with the fun, because it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with Nico's team being represented in this game. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
we're gonna have matching Eagles apparel. Don't worry, I got y'all. I'm gonna get y'all right for the night's occasion.
I don't know about it ain't gonna be me.
Hey, come chill, because it is someone's birthday weekend. So
for sure, and it's exactly
Jalen Hurts.
we turn it up, y'all. We really gonna
It's
turn up
Jalen
this
Hurts'
week.
birthday weekend. February 9th is Jalen Hurts' birthday. All right, it's his birthday weekend.
Oh man,
That's what
it's
I'm gonna
gonna
be in
be
there
fun.
celebrating.
Yeah, as y'all can see, it's gonna be a lot of fun. As well, we have, as I told y'all, and as promised, I told y'all we're gonna be bringing another show to the Jones of the Sports Network, and that is the Big Three Beyond the Arc with me, Nat, and Trav. Trav is from LA. His favorite team is the Lakers. My girl Nat is from Boston. Her favorite team is the Celtics. And obviously, I'm from New York, and my favorite team is the Knicks. I'm trying to get out the way so y'all can see it.
Knicks tape.
But yeah, yeah. And so that's going to be a great dynamic, three historic franchises. That's going to be coming very soon, sometime in February. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. We've already been had a previous podcast, us three, on another network, but things didn't work out. And this, instead of just completely finishing it, I decided, let's keep this thing going. Just come on the Jones Sports Network. Let's do it here. You know, I'm gonna treat y'all right. Y'all know I'm gonna promote it and make sure that we get a bunch of basketball heads on here and have some fun. You know, I already told them, you already know we're gonna have some appearances from the guys, so y'all already know y'all gonna be pulling up. And we're gonna have some fun with it. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. That's coming in February. But now let's talk some football, y'all. Let's get into the conference championship. What she said? If ever Dallas, my doors is bar and open. Absolutely, you already know the vibes. Me and the E was just talking about some shit for sure. So we definitely gonna pull up, Queen. That's gonna happen. Chiefs, Bills. We're gonna start off with them. The controversy, obviously, that comes with it, the history that comes with it, the importance that comes with it from both sides of it. What are your thoughts on this game? Just overall, like, what are your thoughts, E? Since we E is back with us, y'all. He wasn't with us last week. He is back, so welcome back, E.
Yeah, sorry, I had some shit to take care of in the house. All right, you know me, I'm always against the Chiefs. You know, last weekend was like the worst weekend because my parlays didn't hit and the Chiefs won.
Before you keep going, my fault. We didn't get your pick last week. So what was your pick?
I had Bills Eagles. I had Bills Eagles.
Okay.
I had Bills Eagles.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So you know me, I ain't never gonna root for the Chiefs.
Respect.
But I'm a respond to your Twitter poll right here. For me, the reason I don't like them, yes, it's division. It's not even so much the winning, it's the calls. Because I feel like the calls with them, like I know the Patriots got calls, but like I feel like sometimes with the Chiefs, those calls be so blatant in our face, like, damn, you know what I mean? So to talk about this game, I know there was some controversial calls. Those calls were not why the Bills lost that game.
Thank you.
The Bills lost that game because they did what I've seen every team do these playoffs, that loss is go away from that guy that's been killing. Baltimore, stop using Derrick Henry. The Lions, stop going to Jahmyr Gibbs. What did the Bills do? Go away from Cook.
Yep. Who was cooking?
And it's just not to let Nico to put this on Nico anymore. Not everybody's the Eagles with that offensive line to run that quarterback sneak. It wasn't working, and you kept going to the left. The Chiefs knew it.
Yep.
And they kept stuffing you. Keep the ball in James Cook's hands.
E is absolutely preaching.
The Bills' defense looked like shit in the first half. The Chiefs' offense was killing the first half. Bills' defense showed up the second half. But what else showed up? The Chiefs' defense. Because that second half was all Chiefs' defense because the Bills' defense was getting stops.
Yep.
And to be honest, Mahomes did what he had to do, more running than he did throwing the ball. Yes, Worthy has catches, but all them other guys didn't do nothing. The one time I put money on Kelsey, he did shit for me.
Yeah.
But nah, like that defense showed up. The Bills' offensive line looked shaky as hell. When they needed the first downs, as soon as they snapped the ball, Josh Allen, it looked like what we thought the Bills season was going to look like, Josh Allen trying to do everything by himself.
Mm-hmm.
But that all falls on, why are you taking the ball out of James Cook's hand when he's killing?
Yeah.
I don't understand this at all. I've seen it all playoffs. The Lions, when they lost to the Commanders, they turned the ball over. What did they stop doing? Going to Jahmyr Gibbs. Baltimore, in a snowy game, said, let's keep passing the ball with Lamar, even though he has 2 turnovers, and let's not use Derrick Henry at all.
Unbelievable.
The Texans didn't even get Joe Mixon going because they said, oh, let's let CJ win us the game. As much as you know me, I'll be the first one when a call happens, like, yo, the Chiefs got lucky. The Chiefs were getting lucky all year with calls. Yes, they got calls this game, but those calls are not why they won and made it to the Super Bowl. If anything, the calls the calls in the Houston game were bigger calls than they were in that Buffalo game.
Preach.
I agree.
Nico.
I feel like, yeah, like he hit that shit on the nail. He hit that nail on the head. My picks coming out the championship weekend were Buffalo to win and for Philly to win. And yeah, like you said, man, like as much as we like to talk about the fact that the refs be helping and, you know, things don't ever be seeming even when the Chiefs play, you can't leave that shit into their hands. This is the game before the last game of the year. If you know that coming in, why leave things up to, you know? I think Buffalo didn't show up the way they should have shown up. I feel like it was a poor play call. I thought the spot was egregious. I thought Kincaid got the first down, right? I thought the tight end got the first down.
Before that, I believe he got the first down.
Yes. I 100% feel like he got that first down. Like I was watching that game, I feel like he got that first down. But if he doesn't get the first down, go back to it. Throw something quick on the outside because I did it 3 plays in a row just now and it worked. Josh Allen, I know, like, yo, he has like a bunch of like the apologists online right now on his side, but yo, Josh Allen, as big as he is and as athletic as he is not a QB sneak quarterback. I've never seen the Bills do a quarterback sneak and it looks good. Josh Allen takes the ball, stands straight up, steps to the left, and turns his back and tries to scoot in every single time I've ever seen them run a QB sneak in tight space. He's not a QB sneak quarterback. Their line isn't a QB sneak line. They're not that power, push you around, beat you in the mouth team.
Can I add to that before you go on? His style of quarterback run is what the Panthers did with Cam Newton. Snap the ball, quarterback power run. That's it. And then they don't even have the backs like how Philly does. They load the backfield up to push Jalen Hurts. Or do what some other teams do. Let the tight end do it.
Absolutely. Y'all not even running it right. So
yeah, you guys are preaching. Like, we all 3 of us played football. And what is the one thing that's always told to us? We, regardless of how fucking frustrating they may be, we always tell ourselves we cannot leave it up to the refs. We cannot leave it up to, regardless. We go into games knowing we're gonna get fucked this game. It's coming. Y'all be ready for it. Don't leave it up to the refs. So I understand the fans that are upset with the Chiefs getting favorable calls. I understand it. But it's not the first time we've seen this happen. We've seen it before, like he said, and with the Patriots, they get favorable calls. Superstars get favorable calls. That's just the land of the NFL. Like, that's just how it works. But again, don't, like Nico said, don't leave it in the refs' hands for that to happen. Once you do that, you leave it up.
Like the real villain is Buffalo's offensive coordinator. That's it. He called a terrible game.
Yeah.
He called a terrible fucking game. Even down to the last play, the 4 verts with the hinge route. That's a bad ball by Josh Allen. Let's keep it a brick. That's bad pre-snap read. Bad pre-snap read of acknowledging where the pressure is coming from. Bad shift to have the line pick up that pressure. You stood there in the face. All right, I'm not even going to let them off line. The right guard, number 64, I forget what son's name is. He didn't touch nobody on that play. Stood straight up, let the DE run right past him. Josh Allen stands there for some reason, just lets the pressure get to him, runs into it more, and then throws a bad ball. Could Kincaid still have caught it? Absolutely. But it was a bad ball. Let's be
What I
honest.
don't understand is, let's be honest. We all know Steve Spagnuolo. Third down, he's gonna send the pressure.
Exactly. You know, like Nico said, and like
Four verticals out on a pressure. He
yeah,
blitzes more than anybody in the league.
exactly. Like you gotta know that. You have to know.
And then I'm gonna
Spags,
be honest too. Why go away from the two receivers who were actually doing work? And what's his name? Shakir
Mm-hmm.
and Matt Collins.
Yep.
Them
Mac
tight
was
ends.
cooking.
Them tight ends for Buffalo didn't show up all year.
Yep.
Amari Cooper was iffy because he barely played.
Yeah.
Keith Coleman,
Yeah. He's not that right now.
and you know what? Buffalo's draft process came to kick him in the ass because who they traded that pick to? Kansas City. And who Kansas City drafted?
Worthy. Yep. And Worthy cooked. Worthy definitely cooked. I got
His
a question.
family posted the clip. They told him they're gonna regret that trade.
Uh-huh. Yep. My question for y'all is, when it comes to Sean Dermott, do you guys think that they should start moving on from him, or he's a great coach and they got to keep him because he's the first coach to actually get them there in the longest time, 17 years was.
He's a defensive guy.
Yep.
So I think like Nico says, that all falls on the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Because all these teams that are ran by defensive guys, the offense is called and ran through by the coordinator.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Half of these head coaches now, they're just the leader of the team. They're not really the head coach because it's the coordinators who are making all the calls.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Detroit is the best example of that.
Yep.
Dan Campbell's just the leader.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the best.
That's it. That's a guy you would run through a wall for.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, yeah, I think. Oh well, Nico, what do you think? How you feeling about Sean Dermott?
I think the time is coming. Like that's either part ways with him or Josh Allen or both. To be completely honest, how long are we gonna keep banking on the fact that all right, cool, Josh is arguably the third best quarterback in his conference? Like, okay, cool. The same conversation we were having about Jared Goff last week. When is he gonna? You have to do something at some point. Like, almost getting there. Don't get you a fucking a trophy. Almost getting you there ain't gonna get you the bonus. Almost getting you there don't get you nothing. There's nothing. There's no prize for almost. When is Josh Allen gonna produce? If he's not gonna produce, you move on. Because I personally don't. I feel like we've seen Josh Allen's ceiling this season. This is the best Josh Allen you're gonna get. He wasn't as reckless with the ball as he usually is. He performed extremely well game to game, and he showed you exactly who he is. I am great against everybody that is not Patrick Mahomes. And I'm really good against everybody that's not Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Josh Allen ever shows you greatness against teams that are good. I think he shows you greatness against teams that are subpar. Well, he'll have those big moments where he's running all over everybody, but then when he's playing teams that matter, he's a really good quarterback. But you don't set your franchise on a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
You got to make a decision at some point.
I agree as far as Sean Dermott. I wouldn't move on from Josh Allen. The only reason why is because he's put up against arguably the GOAT. Like nobody's really getting past him in the AFC, and you can't really blame him too much. You could say that about all the quarterbacks in the AFC. Honestly, like who's gonna get past the motherfucker that's just holding shit down over there? So I don't want to put too much blame on him, but he does. If he wants to be put in that tier, that upper echelon, like Joe Burrow kind of gets, because Joe Burrow slayed the dragon. He got it done. Now he hasn't done it in a while, but he gets that type of respect because he was one that did it.
I even think this is leading into something I wanted to talk about today anyway, but I feel like even Joe Burrow, like how long we gonna hold our hat on him having one?
That's been my argument.
How long we gonna let him hang his hat on having one run? Joe Burrow was NFL Devin Booker.
I think the only thing about the Joe Burrow thing is we can see why. because it's never because of him.
Yeah.
They do a shitty job of building that team around him.
Yeah, true. Which is interesting because I put up a poll. What was it, yesterday? Let me see where we're at with that poll right now. But my question was, who is most likely to miss out on winning a Super Bowl? And it was Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar, and I put other, but I should have put another quarterback. And I was a little shocked that I wasn't shocked that most people put Joe Burrow, but I was shocked that it was overwhelmingly Joe Burrow.
I think it's Josh Allen.
I think I do agree that it's Josh Allen. I think out of the three of them, Joe is the most pure quarterback. He's the most purely talented quarterback.
Out of those three,
yeah,
I think the first one to win a Super Bowl will be Lamar.
I agree.
Because the Ravens have shown that they are going to do whatever it takes to put him in a winning situation. It all comes down to how he performs in these playoff games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because to be honest, they lose because he doesn't have his best games in the playoffs.
I agree. I think it's going to be Lamar first. Josh Allen will have a shot if he can get past Lamar, because that's what he's going to have to get past Lamar first, most likely, or Mahomes.
Yeah, like while we even talking about Josh, as long as Josh live in the AFC, it's clipped for him. That's it.
And
like
Joe Burrow, that his team's just
that's the only thing that with Lamar is Lamar and Joe will damn near cancel each other out because they'll be playing against each other more often than not.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when it comes down to that, so I'm definitely gonna pick Lamar.
One of them two will be the division winner. One of them is gonna be a wild card guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that favors Lamar in this situation.
Agreed.
What is constructed now as with the Bengals?
Oh, as the teams up there, the teams that they have right now, yeah.
But which brings me to my second question, because I'm in the belief I'm not upset with people picking Joe Burrow because of what's constructed right now. But I also am in the belief, and some people corrected me in certain things as far as I'm in the belief of thinking that the Bengals can get better defensively and then they can compete. But a lot of people are like, I hear where you're coming from, but at the same time, the Bengals are known to be cheap. This is just true. And now they're about to pay Chase a ridiculous amount of money. So they're going to be cheap after this. They just paid Joe. T. Higgins is gone. So I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I can't be mad at that take. So, but if the Bengals are fucking smart, and they have not shown to be smart in the past, but I'm hoping that they could be smart for once and put some fucking pieces around Joe Burrow on the defensive side so they can actually compete. If not, you're just wasting this kid's fucking.
Honestly, this is why I like the NFL compared to all the other leagues. All you have to do is draft right.
Yeah.
You can do so much if you draft right.
It matters. So now let's go to Philly and the Eagles smacking the shit out of the Commanders, 55-23. Before we let Nico get his shit off, we gonna get our shit off. Go ahead, go first.
All right. Before that, I'm not gonna say no names, but there's nobody on the show. But there's some people that we all mutual friends was like, yeah, I'm going for Washington just because I'm tired of hearing Nico talk.
That's crazy.
You would know the dude. No, you know him. You actually went to college with him.
That's fine. Nigga gotta hear me for another 2-3 weeks.
But yeah, I mean his team didn't even make the playoffs, and it's not Jones. It's a different guy.
Oh, I think I talk about.
Yeah.
I had Philly. I know everybody was hyped, with Jaden Daniels, what they did to Detroit and everything. Don't get me wrong, Jaden Daniels had a hell of a year. He's gonna be a hell of a player. But I feel like everybody was underestimating Philly's defense is crazy. We forgetting that Jalen Carter's becoming the best interior lineman in the league in front of our face.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between Philly's Super Bowl run last time compared to this time? They have a running game.
Yep.
And Saquon is running. Like, shout out to Saquon, Derrick Henry, all these guys. This was the year of the rebirth of the running back.
For sure. For sure.
Like, honestly, I know going into the game, a lot of people like, Jalen Hurts is hurt. I don't think he was 100% healthy. But he didn't have to be. When you have Saquon, the first play of the game, you just run the ball. And then what I don't understand, Washington, they had a hell of a first drive going forward on fourth down to get to the red zone and then kick a field goal.
I wouldn't even call that a hell of a first drive. Them niggas pulled out 2 trick plays, went forward on 2 fourth downs, and gave it their all for an 18-play drive to end in 3. Nasty.
And that defense got exposed. Defense definitely got exposed. And this is another thing. I'm going to say it all the time when we talk about Philly. The best offensive line in the league. With their right guard hurt playing center. Like, shout out. I have Philly the whole way. I like Washington. I think, they keep adding pieces. I hope this is not just a one and done, because, a lot of teams, they think, add to that team. If they add to that team is going to be absolutely scary.
Yeah, that's true. Is it my turn now? All right, this is the time.
Before you go, let me just tell you, what you're going through is what I have to go through when I'm talking about the Chiefs.
Yes, exactly. 1,000%, E. I'm glad you said that, because I didn't think about that. So you are going through the same fucking pain that I'm going through right now. And because of that, I got to light this motherfucker up. I got to light this bitch up.
I just tell you, the longer you take, the quieter Nico is. So take your time.
Yeah, because I know he's going to go and so deserves it.
You watch like Saturday Night Live and shit, the monologues.
Mm-hmm.
He about to give us a whole mixtape with this shit.
Let me get my shit off real quick.
That's things I want to discuss. All right.
He got notes. He got a clipboard and notes.
So before I go details into the fucking game, did we say this online? I mean, on air about the? Oh, we did. I think we started the show with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we started the show. I've had to see 7 NFC division rival Super Bowls or NFC championship appearances. 7 since 1996. 4 have been won.
You weren't even old enough to understand football that back then.
4. As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I don't understand. I don't understand what that feels like. He does, because he has been going through it for the past couple of years, every fucking year. So now I understand. I sympathize with you.
But you know what? I'm not trying to. I seen us win it at least. I seen us win the Super Bowl.
True. I
seen us win 3.
Word to Peyton Manning.
He's been to 2 fucking Super Bowls.
Word to Peyton Manning. Glove Peyton.
That was born for the Super Bowl.
Bullshit, y'all. When is Sean Jones gonna get his glory? When is he gonna get his time? Ohio
when he start
State,
rooting for a real team.
A team with a real owner.
I don't want to say what I want to say, but I'm gonna hint at it. The day when we will get over the hump, that man will no longer be with us. That's when it's going to happen. If you guys get where I'm going. So
the Jerry curse.
It's painful. So I just had to get that out. That's my quick Jones with a smoke. My second Jones with a smoke is this.
Damn, you see what the Eagles when they did? Got 2 Jones with the smokes.
Commanders defensive coordinator. Who do y'all know who the defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders is?
He want us to know him so bad.
He sure
Him
does.
and that. Him and what's his name? Number 4, who was like
Louisville.
Louisville. Shout out to him. Looking
Whoever
like Jeff
the
Hardy.
fuck,
Shout out to Flying Hawaiian. Facts.
whoever the fuck the defensive coordinator for, and it might be, I don't know if Dan Quinn is, because I know he's a defensive coordinator. So he need to take some blame on this too. And that's my motherfucking guy. That's my guy. But if he had some say in this, Dan Quinn, this is on your ass too. What type of defense do you play where you're pressing Lattimore on A.J. Brown? When the first time he cooked him, Jalen didn't see him, or there was pressure, so he didn't throw the ball. What do? Came right back to him.
Yo,
So
his name is
Cooked him,
Joe
gets a
Witt Jr., just to let you
deep
know.
pass play. What you say? What you say?
The Commanders.
His name is Joe Witt Jr. I did a quick Google search for you. Joe Witt Jr.
My guy, yo, what's goody? Yeah, okay, there. Thank you. Joe Wick Jr. I don't like to call guys game jobs and shit, but boy, if you thought that defense was going to hold up, you saw the result of that in the final score. Now I will give credit where credit is due. They did keep it
piece.
close for the what?
For the first 9.5 minutes?
Nah, don't do that. Don't do them like that.
The niggas got a 50-piece put on them.
They did.
Yeah.
They
Yo,
did.
a 50 piece NFC chip game is crazy.
Hold on. If you watch the game, now watch the game. The game was close going into the third quarter. It was a 10-point game at that point. It wasn't 55. It was a 10-point game at that point. And I felt like the Washington, I'm not saying that the Eagles would have lost that game, not by any means. But I'm saying that Washington had moments that they fucked up and that they I'm not saying the Eagles that the Washington lost this game and that the Eagles didn't win it. Eagles definitely won the game, but I felt like the Washington had moments that they could have capitalized on and they didn't, especially with the turnovers. And one of the things that bothers me the most, we know that turnovers is going to help teams win the game, but when it's a guy that you really barely even know outside of Eckler, like the other 2 fumbles, we don't even know who the fuck those guys are.
Oh, especially on special teams, right after a score and on the kickoff, you fumbled it. That's bad.
Like, bruh, that's a fast way to get your ass out of here. That's a fast way to get your ass out of here. On that stage, you can't do it. I get it. Washington was playing with house money, but still, if you're there, you might as well play to fucking win. And I felt like the whole coaching staff didn't really have the greatest game plan for going into that. Now, of course, it's going to be hard. The Eagles are a great team, great offensive team, great defensive team. But still, you still got to go out there with your best. They thought that, and most of the people thought that against Detroit. I had Detroit in that game. Detroit definitely didn't help themselves with the turnovers, but Washington looked like the better team for sure in that game. You can't have moments like that. I mean, games like that, and then turn it over against a great team. And
what is it?
The Eagles.
It's usually the team that wins the turnover battle wins the game.
That's been the result this whole playoffs outside of the Chiefs and Bills game. The Bills actually won the turnover game, which was the one fumble by Mahomes, but that was it. So you can't beat yourself in the leg against a team like that. The Eagles, they're going to put up 55 if you do, because they got Saquon. You help them.
With the names on that offense,
you can't help the Eagles at all. They don't need your help. So if you help them, they're going to embarrass you like they did. 55, the most of all time. Like, I give all credit to the Eagles. It is what it is. Go ahead, Nico. You got it. But let's not forget, It ain't over yet, my boy. It ain't over yet.
Don't mean nothing to me.
It ain't over yet, my boy.
That don't mean nothing to me. I love this part of it. I love everybody else who lost, putting all of their hopes into a team that they don't even really like, hoping that they beat us. I love that.
Who, the Chiefs? You know I'm a Chief.
I love that.
Nah, don't do that with me.
Because I'm not even worried about them.
Yeah.
The
No. I'm saying, wait.
I said it.
I'm saying, let's go Philly. Let's go Philly.
My dog.
You know I'm Chiefs. I will
my
never.
Dog.
Why Eagles fly? Okay.
Come on now.
My dog. Word to Kobe. My dog.
I would. Oh, and before you go, Nico, because I got some more smoke. Oh, you just reminded me. Oh, to all the fucking Cowboy fans out there.
Shout out to y'all, head coach.
I don't even want to get into that. We're gonna get into that next week. I need some more time to let that simmer.
Let's hire in-house. Fuck it.
I need more time.
Who's been here losing with us?
Yeah, right. Who wants to keep the tradition?
Yeah.
Quick fans that are rooting for the Eagles in this Super Bowl. How fucking dare you? How dare you? You ain't no fucking Cowboy if you're rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I don't care how much you hate the Chiefs.
I feel like it's allowed when if you're rooting against the GOAT, it's okay. Like, I fake wanted the Giants to win when they was playing against the Patriots. So I'll take that for this one. Only because we're playing against the GOAT.
There's only been three times.
There's a lot of
times that I went for Brady, and that was the 2 times against whenever the fucking played the Giants and whenever the fucking played the Eagles, going.
So all the times he lost,
you know what you did.
I know, ain't that a bitch?
You know what
ain't that a bitch?
You know what
you did. The Cowboys' problem.
You a bitch, Brady. That's why I don't like your ass, because it's the times you decided to fucking lose was against the Giants and the Eagles, nigga. Are you kidding me?
Yo, you know what you forgot to add
to
your poll on X about the Chiefs? Why hating the Chiefs? You forgot to add one of the main reasons, who they cut to every time something happens.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. For sure.
That would have won your whole poll right there.
That's true. I should have definitely added her. That's a good one. Go ahead, Nico. The floor is yours.
So let's start with the Washington thing, right? Joe Witt Jr., he was on my list, and it's not even real smoke, but like it's more so like yeah, right, nigga. Wanted to give this whole imposing speech, this whole ominous. I want people to know me. If they're gonna run him like a running back, we're gonna hit him like a running back. Yeah, we put up 7 rushing touchdowns, dog. 7 rushing touchdowns, dog.
Elijah's a Philly fan, so
Elijah's a smart man. If they want to run their quarterback like a running back, we're gonna hit him like a running back. We're gonna treat him like a running back. You know, that's a conscious decision that they're gonna have to make. Y'all seen Jalen in the first quarter prancing on them niggas? We made the conscious decision. All right, 7 rushing touchdowns. Them boys couldn't stop a nosebleed. And shout out to Washington.
That looked like San Francisco against Packers when they put up like 250 yards rushing against them.
And shout out to Washington, right? They had a hell of a season, but I said it on the last episode. I'm like, there's no real imposing figures on that defense. They got a couple guys who can play, absolutely. Bobby Wagner, Lattimore. Those guys are good. They're okay, but none of those guys are dogs like that. They ain't got nobody who imposes no fear on that defense.
I got him.
There's nobody over there that imposes no fear on that Washington defense. What are they going to do with us? What are they going to do with Saquon Barkley? Your defensive coordinator was the one making the stretch. Y'all players ain't riding on nothing. Players wasn't standing on no business. Marshawn Lattimore was more concerned with fighting than guarding anybody.
Yep.
PI that gets turned into a touchdown on Smitty gets torched by AJ multiple times. Lattimore was dirt. Wagner washed.
I got one more of smoke, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Lattimore is overrated as hell.
Super overrated. Lattimore, we haven't had. There are very few premier corners in the league right now, and none of them are the guys that they talk about. All the guys that we've played in this postseason run that they've been talking about, Lattimore, Jair Alexander, these guys aren't real imposing figures out there, bro.
Jair Alexander does not exist. He doesn't show up for big games.
Routes on air.
He's always
Marshawn Lattimore, routes on air, ROA. It's over. And unfortunately, I absolutely feel the same way coming into this next game. Yo, the Chiefs don't have nobody in their defensive backfield that is really gonna match up with the people, with the names, the numbers that we put
Duffy?
Huh?
McDuffie?
Who he gonna guard?
Whoever.
Who he gonna guard? Who gonna guard the other ones?
They got
No, they don't, nigga. Exactly.
They got
Y'all gonna keep
DBs.
throwing one name, and we're gonna keep doing what we do.
McDuffie's decent.
He's an all-pro.
Their secondary definitely is helped out by the pressure they can create.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Chris Jones is their best secondary player. Because one-on-one, McDuffie can't guard three people. You put McDuffie one-on-one with who? AJ? Smitty just went for over 100. Last Super Bowl, Smitty went for over 100. Last Super Bowl, Smitty and AJ went for over 100. No, I'm sorry. AJ had 99. Smitty went for over 100. Jalen threw for 300 yards last time we played them boys.
He did. He ain't the same quarterback.
But you know who's looking?
He ain't the same quarterback. People just be throwing out random shit about Jalen without watching Jalen, bro. Since that last Super Bowl, since they met, let's compare it. Him compared to Pat specifically, right? Pat 48-10 since that last Super Bowl. Jalen 43-12. Pat putting up 25 points a game. Jalen putting up 27 points a game. Pat completion percentage since the last Super Bowl.
Did his homework.
Pat completion percentage since the last Super Bowl, 67. Ask me what Jalen's is. 66.9. They the same nigga. Don't tell me he's not the same quarterback when he's just as good as the nigga who's the GOAT right now.
You know who I feel like obviously
Team,
outside
culture,
of
coaching, all of that shit plays into effect. Jalen been in the league however many years. This is only his second time he's only had a return offensive coordinator twice. The last time he was in the Super Bowl. People just be throwing clips and catchphrases and sound bites out about Jalen and don't. Yo, since the last Super Bowl, he's putting up 275 yards per game. Patrick Mahomes putting up 290. 80% of Patrick Mahomes' yards is yak. Jalen is dotting shit up. I love my guys, but we don't get no yak. I love my guys. We don't get no yak. Everything to AJ is a bomb. Everything to Smitty is to the sideline. There's no yak in these route trees. Since the last Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes has thrown 117 touchdowns and 43 interceptions. Since the last Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts has thrown 123 touchdowns and 38 interceptions. I'm sorry, 38 turnovers. That's interceptions and fumbles, which is still 6 less than Pat. 6 more touchdowns than Pat. His QB rating, highest in the entire NFC Championship round, including MVP frontrunner Josh Allen, including GOAT Patrick Mahomes. This is going to lead me into my next point. See, that's one of my X factors, right? Because he said it. The biggest difference between the last Super Bowl to this Super Bowl, the Eagles have a running game. You know what else is a drastic difference from that last Super Bowl? We're the number 1 ranked defense in the league. We're talking about the turnovers Washington had. Philly's special teams has forced over 8 turnovers this season. Just the special teams, not the defense. We force turnovers on punt and kickoff. That's what we do. Defensively, the number 1 rated defense, number 1 pressure causing defense, the number 1 takeaway defense in the league. We're not letting no yards in the air go. We're not letting no yards on the ground go. Somebody in the last episode said, oh, yeah, but y'all can't stop the run. What Brian Robinson ran for? Okay. Number 1 defense in the league. 8 new defensive additions. Jalen Carter, the new Aaron Donald. You can't block Jalen Carter one-on-one. You absolutely cannot. And the beauty of that is you can't double team him either. Because you double team him, we got younger Fletcher Cox. We got Jordan Davis there now. Another big boy from Georgia. On the other side of that, we have actual linebacker play this year. Last year in the Super Bowl, we had 1 linebacker on the roster. We had BG, old ass BG. No linebacker play. This year, Nolan Smith, phenomenal. Zach Bond, Defensive Player of the Year nominee, dog, phenomenal. Oren Burks, my man, OB, our outside linebacker play is phenomenal right now. Middle linebacker play is phenomenal right now. We ain't even get to the DBs yet, bro. I watched us send out. Bro, I watched us have James Bradbury try to guard Kelsey Travis Kelce in the last one, bro. We marched out fucking. I don't even know this other nigga's name. He's not even on the team no more. We marched out some sorry niggas in that secondary. We got the exciting whites, bro. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Quintanamo Bay, CD, the only one who was back there last time. Everybody else is new.
Slay
was back there too, but Slay is balling this postseason. Every time we talk about Slay being old and might having missed a step, he comes out and performs.
You know who, to me, who's having a very good playoffs for y'all that's not being talked about a lot? Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert is having a phenomenal playoff, but he's being consistent. He's doing what he do. Like, Dallas is super consistent. When he's healthy, beautiful. But the run game, he touched on it. I want to really get into this, right? Yo, last Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts ran 15 times for 17 yards and a touchdown. The rest of the running backs combined for 15 carries and 30 yards. Combined. Our running backs were sorry. Rashard Gainwell, who's our current backup, he's not the main back. Sorry. DeAndre Swift, we saw him in Carolina. Sorry without our O-line. Like, these niggas ain't nobody.
Y'all didn't have Swift in the Super Bowl. Y'all had Sanders.
I'm sorry, you're right. It was Sanders, Gainwell, and Boston.
The other one that used as like a receiver most
Boston
of the time.
Scott. We had little fat man.
Yeah.
The three of them combined for 15 carries and 35 yards.
Yeah, that's nasty.
No scores. The men played an entire game. 15 carries combined for 35 yards. Nasty. You don't have to game plan for a run game when they play that poorly. This year, I've never been more confident. I've been saying it for weeks on end. I've been saying it to Jones personally for like 2 months now. This is the least dominating Chiefs team I've ever seen. This is the least imposing that the Chiefs have been whilst winning. There's no real aerial threats this year. Travis Kelce has blatantly lost a step this year. We can actually defend this year. We were sorry in the run game. We were sorry in pass defense. And we barely lost. We lost on one play, down 3 points, a bullshit holding call. Literally, bullshit holding call, put them in field goal range to win the game. And it was a hold. It happens every play, though. James Bradbury's sorry. We won't even be in position for that this year. How do you game plan against the Saquon Barkley? Do you load the box and go one-on-one? Because y'all don't have nobody who's going to guard one-on-one. People forget that Jahan Dotson is who he is. Games like this is when the number 3 receiver shows up. Y'all going to put y'all best asset on AJ? Smitty's a number 1 anywhere else. Jahan is a number 2 anywhere else. Dallas is one of the better tight ends in the league. I have never been more confident. People watch Philly. People don't watch Philly. People talk about Philly without watching Philly, bro. Like, Jalen Hurts threw for 300 yards last game. And we were terrible. This is against a team that knew we were going to throw the ball. Because that's all we did that year was throw the ball. Slants, curls, goals. That's all we did in 23. This year, a lot less predictable. And I feel like Kellen Moore is getting into rhythm. He just called his best game of the season. That Washington game was our best game of his best offensive play calling game of the year. You get him in this situation with all these weapons against a team that, personally, no intimidation for. They got 2 guys that I actually respect on that front 7, and then they have 0 guys that I respect in the back end. And if I feel that way as a casual, I know A.J. Brown feels this way. I know Kellen Moore feels this way. I know Jalen Hurts feels this way. Hats off to Chris Jones and the big boys up front, right? Ain't nobody else wants you to get past that. Linebacker play, super subpar. DB play, super subpar. Hats off to the Chiefs. They haven't given up 30 points all season. I think they haven't given up 30 points since they played us in the playoffs, right? They haven't given up over 118 rushing yards the whole playoff run, right? That's beautiful. Saquon ain't go for under 118 yet. Saquon had 14 out of 19 games this season over 100 and didn't play those full games. What are y'all gonna do with us? Like, I've never been more confident. There's not a fearful bone in my body going into this game. I feel the same way I felt coming against Washington. I feel the same way I felt going against Green Bay. Maybe a little more confident than I was against Green Bay, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. For it, all the talk don't add up. Jalen Hurts ain't the same Jalen Hurts. What's the same Jalen Hurts that y'all need? What do y'all need Jalen Hurts to be? Jalen Hurts just ran for 3 touchdowns. The week before that, he threw for a couple. What do y'all need Jalen Hurts to be? He could throw for 250, and he's not enough. He could run for 250. He's a running back. Jalen is never going to get the respect he deserves as a winner. Because at the end of the day, that's what he is. He's a fucking winner. His first 5 seasons in the league, he has more wins than Lamar Jackson. He has more passing yards per game than Lamar Jackson. He has more total touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. His first 5 years in the league. His first 5 years in the league, he's one of 8 quarterbacks to make multiple Super Bowls. 8. And not even the whack 8. Not even like a 8 that some bullshit nigga slipped into. Brady, Aikman, Mahomes, Big Ben. Who the fuck else is on that list? Kurt Warner, Russell Wilson, and John Elway. And Tom fucking Brady, the GOATs. That's a Mount Rushmore list. Jalen Hurts is in that company. Mahomes, Brady, Elway.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts is in that company.
Yeah, but when you said some of them other names, you said GOATs. Let's chill with that, all right?
All right. But there are GOATs in that list. He's in GOAT-like company.
In that list, but
he's in GOAT company. Like, there's one nigga on there who's mid now because he stayed too long. You feel me? Big Ben stayed too long. Russ stayed too long. They both were top-tier quarterbacks in their time of being good. I'll give them that, regardless of my fandom of them. But Jalen is never going to get the credit that he deserves because Philly is not a pretty culture. Philly's not a pretty team. It's not.
It's that fan base.
We win. You can't say nothing to a team that wins.
It's that fan base.
Like, yo, Jalen is never going to get the credit he deserves for being a winner. His record in the NFL, he only has 20 losses, bro. 20. He has 20 losses as a career quarterback in the NFL. He's played 110 games.
That's insane.
20 losses. Jalen is never going to get the credit he deserves as a winner. He's never going to get the credit he deserves as a top-tier premier quarterback in this league. He's done everything you can ask him to do. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's fans are on Twitter arguing right now about conference championship appearances. Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls. His first Super Bowl ever in his 3rd year, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. We lost the game, but wins and losses is not a purely quarterback stat. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. He was one flag short of a Super Bowl MVP trophy himself. He was 42. In that Super Bowl, he was 27 for 38. He threw for 305 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. That's phenomenal. 15 carries, 3 touchdowns on the ground. He scored 4 touchdowns in his first Super Bowl ever. Patrick Mahomes threw for 1 touch. I'm sorry. He threw for 3 touchdowns that game. 20 passes, 180 yards. Mad yak.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts threw for 300 yards and put up 4 touchdowns that game, y'all. In his 3rd year. He's better. He's smarter. He's more settled in this year. We haven't. Nick Sirianni was our play caller that year.
Good.
Nick Sirianni was our play caller, and Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. We have an actual offensive-minded play caller this year who is coming off his best play calling game with 2 weeks to prepare for a team that is not, I can't even say one-dimensional, but this is not the same team. We don't have to game plan around players anymore. We're coaching against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. That's it. We don't have to game plan for a Travis Kelce, for a Tyreek Hill, for any of those other weapons to pop up. Things have never been more in Philly's favor, and that's no bias. That's in the numbers. We have a top-tier premier quarterback. We have the best running back in the league. We have the best O-line in the league. We have the best D-line in the league. My smoke for Colin Cowherd and Chase Daniels, right? Because I should have put on my Jalen jersey today because that's what this is a Jalen day for me, right? Colin Cowherd, when the playoffs started, said Jalen Hurts was the 8th best quarterback in the playoffs. When there was 8 quarterbacks remaining in the playoffs still, he said Jalen was the 8th best quarterback behind C.J. Stroud, behind Jaden Daniels, behind Matthew Stafford, Jordan Love, and a bunch of other niggas we sent home.
Yeah,
Jared Goff.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
The
FS1 is
8th best quarterback. And for what? Because the media says so. People love to talk about Philly without watching Philly. Jalen Hurts has only lost 20 games his entire career. You know who's lost 20 games already? Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They've all lost 20 games already. Far more than that. Jalen is 90 and he's 89 and 20. 89 and 20. He's had 7 play callers. So when they use that for other quarterbacks, like, oh, well, he doesn't have any consistency. Neither does Jalen. He don't come out and complain. He don't come out and talk shit. He don't come out and try to throw nobody under the bus. He gonna give you his little quotes. He's speaking quotes. He gonna give you his little motivational shit. I gotta do better. You gotta get back up on that horse and ride it. You gotta some dumb shit, and it's gonna work. And you're gonna come back and apply the work. Like, everybody's arguing for consolation prizes and, oh, well, what's Mahomes versus Lamar? Well, what's Lamar versus Josh Allen? Fuck about what they doing over there. That's a loser's conversation. Jalen is in the final circle again in his 5th year. The ceiling is only going to go up. Colin Cowherd had him ranked 8th. We've seen how that's lasted, right? He's now the second. I can't even say second best because in the NFC Championship round, he was the best quarterback who played. Numbers, rating, production, W. He was the best quarterback that played. Patrick Mahomes threw for 240 yards this round. 230 yards, 230 yak yards was on their stat sheet. He's not throwing nobody to no open spaces. He's getting it to guys short ground and letting them turn up. He's Brock Purdy this year. He's Brock Purdy with an Andy Reid behind him. And I give Pat all the respect in the world. I call Pat one of the GOATs based off his output and his accolades and whatever the fuck he's accumulated to this point in his career. But the strength of that offense is Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes is a hell of a game manager for him. And as great as Jaden looked, Jaden didn't look like Jaden against Philly defense. Shout out to Spag, but Vic Fangio was that guy too. Vic Fangio shut Jaden Daniels the fuck down. And everybody was like, how are we going to do that? We had 3 rough games all year. 4. I can count 4 or 5 rough games all year. And some of them were still wins. We snuck out a win against the Browns, right? Cool. That was a little ugly play calling wise. The Atlanta game, ugly. We've never had a bad conference game where people played, right? The Giants game was a little close, got ugly for them. Put 40 on these boys' heads. It was like 44-6 when we played Dallas, right? Then the other time we played Dallas, it was like 34-6, I believe. Or put almost 40 on them that time. This has been a phenomenal team from jump. Like, there's no surprises with Philly. The offense has been great. The offense had slow moments, but the offense has been great. It's been the number 1 rushing offense the entire season. And even with being the number 1 rushing offense the entire season, A.J. Brown's only had 3 games where he didn't go for 100. Smitty's only had 5 where he didn't go for 100. We have multiple 1,000-yard receivers. We have a 2,000-yard rusher. Our QB is a 1,000-yard rusher. Hate aside, bias aside, football facts, numbers up. It's hard to not put Philly as a favorable pick to win this game, man.
So I got a question for y'all because this in the game, and this is no bias. This is all bias aside. This is just me as a football fan. The Eagles-Commanders game. I want to know y'all thoughts on this as well, especially yours, Nico. when Philly was doing the tush push, and they were giving them the hard count, and the guys kept jumping over and shit like that. And the ref was like, after a few times they did it, they were like, they're gonna award Philly the touchdown if they kept doing it. What were your thoughts on that?
Just get
what
it
else you
over.
want them to what else you want them to do? We just gonna stand there for the rest of the game? Like,
my thing is though,
you can only move the ball but so far, right? We was on the 5. That shit got us moved to the 2.5. That shit got us moved to the 1. That shit got us moved to the half. That shit had us right outside of the goal line. Like, either get some discipline or get out the way and let us score the touchdown anyway.
Right, that's my point. Like, you're gonna score the touchdown regardless, so just snap the fucking ball. Like, goddamn, how are you gonna blame the defense for trying to snap the count? That I ain't like that. That even if it was, that had nothing to do with it being against Philly. If it was the Cowboys, I would have been like, nah, I don't like that shit. Like, if they want to score the touchdown, let them fucking earn it, regardless of it. Like, they were gonna score the touchdown anyways if it's on the inch line, but snap the ball and just score already. But to blame the defense for trying to snap to defend that, like, damn.
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like the refs were blaming the defense, but the refs is pretty much saying like, yo, get some discipline or we just gonna get them the touchdown. Like, we're not gonna penalize Philly because y'all keep jumping.
Yeah, I'm not saying penalize Philly, but damn.
Because not at a point, there's no more penalty to give them. You feel me? Like, they moved us up. We ran the play 4 times in a row, and penalty. We're on literally less than the 1 yard line. We're on the white damn goal line.
I understand what you're saying, but my point is, at that point, just snap the damn ball. You know you at the inch line. Why you still like, come on?
That's them too, though. Tell them niggas the flying Hawaiian.
I mean, in a way,
he did that shit twice in a row.
In a way, it was smart from Philly because you killed.
For sure. I don't blame Philly for. I don't blame
6 minutes, damn near.
I'm not blaming anybody for I don't blame Philly for for doing it. And I don't blame Commanders for trying to time it. I blame the refs for saying that they were gonna give them a touchdown. Nah, just let them keep fucking doing it. If Philly want to keep playing games, then let them keep fucking playing games.
I don't feel like we was the ones playing games though. I feel like Washington, like, it's like, all right, boom, penalty. As if I'm speaking as a commander, right? All right, we jump off sides, we're penalized. We jump off sides, we're penalized. We jump off sides, we're penalized. Now it's like, yo, we're standing in the end zone. The ball is on the white for the goal line. There's no more penalized I can get. So either the refs is gonna let me keep doing this bullshit and jump over the line and possibly hurt somebody, and no penalization to me because you can't penalty me no more. You can't move us back no more. So the refs is like, yo, either stay on y'all side of the ball, stop trying to jump early, or we're just gonna get them the touchdown because they're gonna score the touchdown anyway.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. But
that jumping over the line shit, I see a lot of teams try that with us. That works in like a Bill situation because Josh Allen is such a poor quarterback sneaker. He's standing up. You do that, you're gonna hit Josh Allen. Right. The way the Philly show, Jalen Hurts, you can't even see him, dog. He's the lowest person in there.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I agree with your point. I'm saying that the point of Philly doing it is to get closer to the goal line so they can make it easier for them to score. Mm-hmm. You made it. You got closer. You on the inch line. Snap the ball, nigga. Damn. Like, that's just me as a fan. It's like, I get your point. You can't penalize the defense anymore. So it's like, all right, give them the point. But me as a fan, I hate you never seen that in the history of the sport.
I've never seen that.
Team been awarded points based off of a penalty. I've never seen that. And that would, for me, would sour the game a little bit. I've
never seen that, but it's also like, if you don't do that, if you don't use your jurisdiction as a ref, then it becomes a penalty to the offense. Because it's like, all right, well, yo, they keep jumping off sides. You're not gonna do nothing about this? Oh, well, not gonna do no more. But nah, nigga, yes, you can. You either gotta tell them to stop or move us forward again. Put us on the goal line. I want to be on it. I want to be in the red paint now.
Snap the ball, Philly. Goddamn.
And my thing was that was just some pride shit from Washington anyway, because like Yo, y'all wasn't stopping a nosebleed. Like what are we doing here? That
Nah,
wasn't
that's
stopping
right.
a
They wasn't
fucking
stopping
nosebleed. That
shit
was
anyway.
just some pride shit. Like,
But that was my point. It's just like
the
they
Hawaiians
wasn't
be
gonna
mad
stop this.
extra.
So just why y'all playing games? Y'all know we ain't gonna stop this shit. Snap the fucking ball. Like
The
if I was
Hawaiians be
Philly, I'd
mad
have been
extra, yo.
tight. Like, yo, snap this shit. Y'all know y'all gonna score this shit. We gonna be on the bottom of the fucking pile, picking ourselves up and shit. Like I'd have been tight. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Yo,
And
come on.
that's a lot of wear and tear that we didn't have to do because we ran the play twice, but then every other time it was something else with it. But we actually ran it twice. That's mad wear and tear. Your body get all banged up down there. My center already had a bad back.
That shit was killing me. Now let's get into the NFL awards. E, you got it pulled up?
Yeah, I got you.
Playing against a healthy Philly team is scary, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, that's true. I definitely gotta give you credit where credit's due. That team is good.
All right, you got ready?
Let's get it.
All right, we'll start with the MVP. So the finalists are Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley.
Shayshawn Barkley.
Yeah, Shayshawn Barkley.
Shayshawn. That boy Shayshawn.
Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson.
That's fucking crazy. Jared Goff?
I mean, the numbers were
Yeah,
there.
the numbers were there.
Are we
Numbers
picking
were-
on winners now, or are we just?
How do you want to do it?
I mean, we could just throw it out, and then next week we could just give our reasons why.
I wish they gave these out like before the playoffs started. Like,
Yeah, because they tell you they
should do
love to
it.
tell you that the playoffs have nothing to do with it. So give it out. I feel like they used to do that, right?
It did. They used to give it out the first playoff game to
yeah, they
whoever.
should take a week. Yo, like that same week we take in between the NFC, the conference championship games and the Super Bowl, like that same like week off. We should do that. Regular season ends, yo, week off, we gonna hand out all the awards and shit, and then come back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because yo, for people to act like this shit don't mean nothing when we just watched Josh Allen versus for me, like to watch Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson when they've been like the main two in the conversation, to watch Josh Allen win that game and people are so high on him, and then to watch him lose the way he lost to Mahomes. I don't want to see him get MVP.
So now if you give
him
MVP, people are gonna be like, huh?
Honestly, like, and it's a little biased, but I don't want to see I don't see nobody on that list winning shit but Saquon right now because all the rest of them niggas are at home and he's still out here doing amazing shit.
It makes sense.
It's the regular season though.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like, yo, get that shit out earlier because I don't watch them in the postseason.
Yeah.
I can't help but have watched them in the postseason.
Right.
Like, give it out beforehand. You done made us watch them for the last 2-3 weeks.
That's true. For me, based on off their regular season, I'm going with Josh Allen, even though I know Lamar is and definitely deserves credit. The reason why I'm giving it to Josh also is because of the help of Derrick Henry. That help, he had a lot of help this year. Not a lot of help, but enough help with that. Derrick Henry back there, but his numbers were absolutely amazing this year for Lamar. But Josh had to hold it down the whole entire year for them to be in the even position, and he didn't have as much help as Lamar did. So for that reason, and y'all know I was the biggest Josh Allen critic last year, but this year I had to give credit where credit is due. For me, it would be Josh Allen, but I'm hearing word that it might be Lamar this year.
My vote is Lamar. Yeah. My pick is Lamar. I agree. I get all the I feel like we get real wrapped up into but he's had help and he get to this and that. But I don't think that like Derrick him getting Denver Henry is not like, oh hey, Derrick Henry is here to save Lamar Jackson. Like their relationship is absolutely mutually beneficial. Yeah. Derrick Henry benefits from having Lamar Jackson in front of him just as much as Lamar Jackson benefits from having Derrick Henry back there. My argument is you put any other quarterback any of the other quarterbacks on that list in that situation, is that team as successful?
Say that again.
My question is like, if you put any of the other quarterbacks on that MVP list in Baltimore, are they successful with nobody to throw to? We've seen Derrick Henry with an okay quarterback before, but there's nobody else out there to throw to. What does a Joe Burrow do in Baltimore? What does a Joe Burrow do in Baltimore? Nothing.
I understand that, but I feel like going based on what the award is, because I hate when we call them MVPs when it's just the best player award. Because MVP is
That's what it
most
really
valuable.
is.
Yeah.
Because Saquon is an MVP.
Out of those guys on that list, the most valuable is Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. You take those two off their teams, Buffalo's not a playoff team. Cincinnati probably got the number 1 pick in the draft right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. If the Bengals made it to the playoffs, I think this is landslide Joe Burrow's award.
Oh yeah.
Numbers wise.
Yeah. His numbers were crazy.
Joe had a phenomenal year. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I go based on especially what we all seen it going into the season. We had high hopes for Philly's offense with Saquon. We had the we were all scared about what Baltimore was going to do with Derrick Henry. Buffalo might not even make the playoffs or win the division. And for them to go and get the
number 2 seed, yeah, that's the reason why that's tough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Josh, but we'll see.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm not mad at anyone that picks Lamar because
he,
like he said, he doesn't have a lot of help as well outside of Derrick Henry.
Yeah. The nigga started his season playing the GOAT. Like his season, his level of competition that he has to play is far tougher than Josh Allen's.
Also, I would give the edge to his defense. His defense is a little bit better. They got better.
Defense, yeah.
They started off the season trash as hell.
Yeah. All right, so now let's go to Defensive Player of the Year. We got Zach Bond from Philly.
Zach Bond!
Myles Garrett. Trey Hendrickson. TJ Watt. And my pick, Patrick Surtain. Listen, Defensive Player of the Year is always going to go to a pass rusher. Like, it's a pass rusher award. But I feel like just for, yes, a little bit of bias, absolutely. But if you look at the numbers with Surtain in coverage this season, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn near wasn't giving up anything.
Yeah.
And to even look at and be like, oh, shit, a DB made the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year is insane.
Yeah, that's impressive in itself.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a lot of great guys in there. What was Myles Garrett's number? Was it? I don't think it was that crazy, right?
Nah, I think Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks.
Cam Hayward made a super interesting point. I thought I heard him in an interview last week, and he goes, I think we go crazy about certain stats, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, Defensive Player of the Year, he's a stud. He gets this many sacks, but we don't ever talk about, but he's a liability in the run game because he don't tackle. He don't. How many times does he run right past the ball because he's only looking for sacks? Like, the linebackers on his team hate him because he don't take on blocks. He's swimming over everything or trying to rip past, avoid contact on everything. Like he said, that sack stat is overrated. And I think I agree with it. I do agree with it. I feel like that sack stat is super overrated. I think there are so many other factors that should go into Defensive Player of the Year. Like he said, it's a pass rushers award. I don't think it should be though.
Yeah.
It hasn't always been.
Yeah, I feel like that shift happened maybe in the last 5 to 10 years.
Not just to boost the case more for Surtain. It's like, if you think about it, with the numbers he put on it, he don't even get targeted that much. So for you to see, even when he did get targeted, how much he wasn't still giving up is insane to me.
Yeah. For that reason, I'm gonna go with Surtain as well, being a DB myself. I know how hard it is to be a DB, doing everything backwards and shit like that, and those numbers to be even in the conversation. I'm gonna be a little biased, and I'm gonna go with him too, even though I'm not.
But let's think about it too. Like, how many times a DB you running a zone, and when you finally passed off, and the guy catches the ball on the highlight, they're gonna be like, "Oh, look, this dude killed Sertan." When yet he was in a zone and he didn't have that middle because he seen somebody creeping up the sideline. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, it's easy to look to blame the DBs for not covering guys when
my pick has a little bias in it. I'm going with Zach Bond. That's my pick for DPOY. But
there's gonna be we're gonna see a trend in all these awards. How Nico, he's gone 2 awards, 2 Phillies.
We've seen. We're gonna see the trend that Philly just keeps getting nominated for these awards. Like, that's not my fault. Like, we got the best players in the league. That's not. My pick for Zach Bond is it's a little biased because I feel like I watched the most of him out of all of these other guys, but his impact on the best defense in the league is uncanny. Like, when I was going on my Super Bowl rant earlier, my biggest shout out was to the fact that we have linebacker play this year. Philly did not have reliable linebacker play ever. Like, our defense has been our big question mark since our last Super Bowl win. Like, for the last 8 years, it's dead been, when is the defense going to get their shit together? Like, Zach Bond has caught multiple interceptions this year, forced fumbles this year, fumble recoveries this year, sacks, tackles for a loss. He's filled up the defensive stat sheet in multiple games this season.
He's like a special teams player.
He was a special teams guy last year. I think at the very start of this season, he wasn't the starter in game 1.
He's not even your best linebacker.
Yo, if you look at him, he's not the most athletic. He's not the most, but he's the only true linebacker we have. Like, everybody else is a glorified pass rusher. Even BG, we put BG on the line and he rushes off the end. N'Kobe Dean, before he got hurt, Nolan Smith, outside linebacker, plays on the line. Oren Burks plays on the line. Zach Bond sits in the middle of that field in the defense. The secondary's behind him. The big boys is in front of him, and he's here. Whatever you need, I'm here. He spied Jaden Daniels the whole game. He forced that fumble on Eckler. The week before that, he sat right in the middle on Matthew Stafford all week. None of that crossing shit for Coop and Puka was going down. He caught picks. He's my guy. He's filled up the stat sheet. I feel like he's had a hell of a fucking year to be, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most impactful player on that best defense in the league is phenomenal for me. Like, causes havoc wherever you need him to cause havoc, and it's always around the ball. Whenever the ball is out, Zach Bond is there.
All right, so now we'll go to offensive side.
Give me Luke Kuechly vibes. He gave me like 14 Kuechly vibes.
The finalists for the offensive player of the year: Saquon Barkley,
Shayshawn,
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I gotta go Saquon. If it wasn't Saquon, I was going Jamar Chase because, you know, Triple Crown at the receiving in the receiving categories is crazy, but it's Saquon Barkley.
It's Saquon Barkley. I have to.
I'm already moving up to the next one. I know
it's Philly.
And he sat out like 7 quarters this year. Like, it was mad games that he was like, "Nah, y'all go ahead, fellas."
And I didn't say this earlier, but I have to give. He also respectfully deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Without that,
absolutely.
If we count postseason,
that's my unbiased takes on Philly. That
realistically, like, if we include postseason, and if he hadn't decided to take the foot off the gas in a bunch of those games this year, Saquon could have ran for 3,500 yards, bro. Like, if we add up his postseason totals right now, and if he would have finished a bunch of them games in the regular season, he could have easily run for 3,500 yards this year.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, we pretty much all know who's going to win this, but I'll give you the finalists. Obviously, it's Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
If Jaden Daniels didn't have the year he had, as much as this kills me to say, this would have been my pick. Brock Bowers.
Oh yeah, he broke a lot of.
He was up there in receiving numbers this year, not just rookie numbers. All right, Malik Neighbors from the Giants. It's too bad he doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, he was in a terrible position. I like Malik.
A guy that wasn't talked about most of the year, and I think a lot of it has to do with where he played. Brian Thomas Jr. from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And my boy Bo Nix.
Wait, hold up. We gotta take this moment just to poke a little bit of fun at Caleb Williams for not even being in the conversation. Damn, Caleb. Damn.
I don't really blame Caleb though.
I don't either. But I shouldn't say Caleb. All the Caleb fans that said he was gonna do all
the
this
generation
shit.
talent thing, yeah.
Yeah. And we all told them, you realize that he's on a horrible fucking team still. Like,
yeah,
still a lot of work to do.
They were doing their best to put him in good position, though.
We warned y'all, but he is a great talent. Great talent.
I want to see what happens with Ben Johnson there.
Mm-hmm. Still got to get that offensive line fixed. Like, they in the draft, that's what I'm focused on, is that offensive line.
Yep.
And then they'll put themselves in a way better position with Ben Johnson.
We're all going Jaden Daniels there, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Let's get to this next one, though.
All right, defensive rookie of the year. Jared Verse from the Rams.
That's his shit, right? That's his shit. That's what he was doing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Before we sent that nigga home.
Honestly, his teammate has a better chance than him. Braden Fisk. Chop Robinson from the Dolphins. Cooper DeJean from Philly.
Ooh, spicy mayo.
And Quinyon Mitchell from the Eagles.
Guantanamo Bay.
I went DB for defensive player of the year. Like, honestly, I seen some of the numbers. I would pick Braden Fisk from the Rams. He was up there in sacks. But like, if I went DB for defensive player of the year, I'm gonna go DB here too. I'm gonna go with Guantanamo Bay. Just because Cooper DeJean didn't play a lot early in the beginning of the season. They used the most special teams and stuff like that.
Special teams.
They did the right thing. He was at nickel now.
He was the nickel guy.
But I'm going Mitchell just because he damn near be guarding team's number one receiver.
And locking niggas up.
But I give everybody credit. Everybody said it in the draft. He was the best corner in the draft.
We got both of them.
Yeah, y'all got the two top corners from the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gene. I like Gene.
Shout out Howie.
I'm gonna pick Gene. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know who I'm picking.
All right.
Locked up.
I'm not gonna do the assistant coach of the year, but we'll do the last two. Comeback player of the year.
We on that too. We on assistant coach of the year too.
Comeback player of the year.
Fangio,
Joe Burrow,
baby.
Sam Darnold, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots, who had a really good year, and DeMar Hamlin. Before I say anything,
give me a
quick thing though. Yo, I get it. It was a crazy event and everything. Buffalo got to move on from DeMar Hamlin. He can't cover for shit.
Yeah.
Yo, was he really even playing before he died? Like, did the nigga die on special teams? Like,
he was starting that. I think that was his actual first year he was starting.
Yo,
and that was early in the season. Like, the nigga died way before he even got to prove anything. And then he came back to life and they said, "Are you gonna make you a starter?" I don't like that.
He can't guard worth shit out there.
Yo, he's trash. He's really not good.
Yo, he can't tackle or anything.
Yo, he's trash. Respectfully,
I honestly don't understand how he's even on it because then he
died
here
because of what happened.
Didn't he win? Wasn't that 2 years?
No,
ago?
He didn't play. Yeah, but I don't think he played last year.
I'm pretty sure he played a game or two last year. I think he came late in the season or something like that. Yeah. And they gave him the award.
Well,
and so I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna give that award. So my comeback player of the year, I mean,
Who were the first two you said? You said Joe Burrow and who?
That boy drafted in New York.
Burrow and Sam Darnold. I think I'm gonna go Darnold just because we didn't expect him to do what he did.
That's my pick.
That's my pick too.
Like Burrow, I understand because he actually came back from injury.
Right.
But now you gotta go. You gotta give it to Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Like I feel like comeback player means like, yo, we didn't really think he was gonna be nothing. Like, we thought it was over. Like Joe is just starting. Joe just get hurt, and that's what Joe do. Joe gets hurt. Like we wasn't thinking he was done. Sam, we thought Sam Darnold's career was over.
We expected Joe Burrow to have a Joe Burrow year.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna do Coach of the Year.
Oh, well, before you even go on, got to give a shout out to J.K. Dobbins too. Like what he's been able to do with his injuries, he keeps coming back from these injuries early and still performing. So got to give him a shout out.
The best thing he did was leave Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to use him a lot, and they have.
Well, he's a free agent.
Oh, he's a free agent now.
I see some reports that's a good landing spot for him. Anyway, Coach of the Year: Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, Andy Reid. I'm going Dan Quinn. Who thought the number 2 pick would go to the NFC Championship?
Yeah, no one saw that.
If I was going Dan Campbell, I would have went with Kevin O'Connell from Minnesota.
I might be going Andy Reid.
I'm going with Dan Quinn. I knew that Washington, I said it in the beginning of the year, that Washington was going to be a decent team. I didn't think they would be this good this early. And he proved me right, but he exceeded my expectations. Like he really exceeded my expectations. So now we really have to worry about Washington in the NFC East being a real contender every year now. Like we used to laugh at Washington every year. Every once in a while, we'd be like, all right, they'd make the playoffs, and then they would miss it for the next 5 years and make the playoffs, missing another 5. Now this team's going to be here, and Dan Quinn is going to. I think he's going to be able to continue to get this team to be better.
My pick is actually Andy Reid.
Okay.
I feel like it's a cheat code because he's the GOAT for real. Like we don't have the Belichick in the league no more. Like he's the Belichick. Like he is the coach. I think he's proven that. Most wins all time in Philadelphia history. Most wins all time in Kansas City history. And like I've been saying for like the last couple of months, like yo, this is the least intimidating Kansas City team based off of players alone. Like they don't have a big 3 players that you think of where they could walk out like they used to. Like it's not the Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. Oh shit, that like what do we do against this offense? They're not that team no more. They're not that team on offense. They're not that team on defense. This is really a team that has been carried off of how well their coach can scheme and can put people in positions to be successful. Like I don't think they've gone for 30 in a very long time, but they haven't given up 30 in a very long time. Like he's figuring out ways to win around his players aging, being hurt, and leaving. And I commend him for that. Like the only reason I don't give it to Washington is because I think Washington has a lot of immensely talented guys. Like I think Jaden and Scary Terry and whoever else, they'd have been here with whomever. Because I think that's how good that kid is.
But I'll tell you this. When you look at that, when you say that, I'm going to bring up baseball, right? So baseball, they give out the manager of the year, which is usually, and the reason why teams like Yankees managers or Dodgers managers never win it, because they say you were supposed to do that with that team.
You got a bunch of budget, yeah.
So you're supposed to be good with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
I don't think that this year, and that's why I'm giving the credit to Andy Reid. I feel like this year, what has Travis Kelce done this year? For real.
I understand that, but what's their expectation? Their expectation is to be in the Super Bowl and to be the top team in the AFC.
That's exactly package though. I think that's as a package. If Andy Reid leaves that team next year, they're done. Guaranteed.
Like, even though they did struggle to win games this year, but they still eventually did. I think if we would have really seen them struggle, where like we're sitting there saying like, yo, the Chiefs offense is something's wrong with it.
Yeah,
All we said all year was like, they're just not scary. They're in close games with teams they shouldn't.
Yeah, like my thing is like I get what you're saying, Nico, but I'm on the other side of what you're saying is because what we saw last year from the Chiefs is what I would agree 100% for what you're saying. Because last year was like, this team really don't really look like that team. And they ended up still winning the Super Bowl. This year, they still didn't look as scary, but they looked better and they finished those games that they didn't finish last year. And that to me is a little bit more scarier in a way. Like it's not, and I don't even think they want to look like that team anymore. Like, I don't think they want to look like the team they were the first few years when Patrick was going crazy. I keep telling people, I think this team is the new Patriots. They're going to rely on their defense. They're going to rely on the run game. They're going to rely on Patrick getting the ball out of his hands quick so he doesn't get injured or risk turnover or whatever the case may be. They're taking the safest route to winning the game. And that's what we saw with the Patriots. Low-scoring games. They're not going to score a lot. They're going to rely on their defense, run the ball, and time of possession. And I think that's what this Chiefs team is doing. And I think that's on purpose.
I like the comparison. I think that comparison is perfect because when you thought about the Patriots winning, you didn't think about players. You said Brady and Belichick system. You think Mahomes and Reid. This is a 100%. Group project. And if I think Andy Reid takes his half out of this group project, they are no longer the best group in the class anymore.
Right.
And that's why I'm giving Andy Reid the credit for this. I don't think that they're the best group in the class without him. Like the way they beat the Bills this year in the playoffs, Andy Reid called the same exact play that he called the first time he beat them in the playoffs 2 years ago. Same formation, same movement, same motion, a play that they haven't run since the last time they played the Bills. Like, that's Andy shit. Patrick Mahomes ain't Peyton Manning. He's not sitting there like, hold on, let me think, let me read, check. Nah, he's going out there and doing what he's told and then improvising if something goes wrong. Andy Reid, I think, is the life force behind that team's success. And I feel like I hate to see him go, but once he does eventually go, that's it. Because this may be the last good year we've gotten of Kelsey, and he wasn't a good year for him. Then what? It's a Brady Belichick situation, but you got to give Belichick the credit as well. I feel you got to give Andy Reid his credit. It's a Mahomes, Andy Reid driven culture, but I think it's more Andy Reid. I think Tom Brady was a smarter player. I don't think Patrick Mahomes. Nobody speaks to Patrick Mahomes' IQ. Like in basketball, when niggas talk LeBron, everybody talks about LeBron's IQ for the game. When they talk about Jordan, they talk about Jordan's will to win. They talk about Mahomes, they talk about Mahomes' will to win. Brady, will to win. Peyton Manning, it was IQ. Patrick Mahomes don't strike me as the mastermind behind this offense. The body gonna break down, he gonna slow down. If Andy Reid leaves, that's it. So my vote is for Andy for Coach of the Year, for sure.
We got one more.
Assistant Coach of the Year, I'll run down it real quick. Joe Brady from the Bills, Vic Fangio from Philly, Brian Flores from the Vikings, and then both coordinators from Detroit, Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson.
I
hear my boy.
I'm gonna go Ben Johnson, just because I think Detroit had like the number one offense in the league. And listen, both guys became head coaches, so you can't go wrong for either Detroit guy. Honestly, a sneaking good name in that is Brian Flores because he did have Minnesota's defense playing insane this year.
Yeah.
Like we didn't think. I'm just before you go. Like I understand, Nico's gonna go to Vic Fangio, but I feel like we expected that defense to be as good compared to that Minnesota defense.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. No, I'm with you with Ben Johnson. He really had that Lions offense looking way better than we expected them to look. He had Jared Goff looking way better than we expected him to look. And I think that's all him. I think you get, like Nico was giving credit to Andy Reid for Patrick Mahomes success. I think that's the same with Ben Johnson, with Jared Goff's success. It's all Ben Johnson making sure that he limits Jared Goff's weaknesses and maximizes his potential. And I think they did a great job of that this year. And I think he's also going to do a great job with the Bears next year. I think they're going to have their bumps, of course, if they don't take care of the holes that are on that offense. But other than that, I think he will put the Bears offense in a better position than they were this year.
I respect it.
And you're going to tell us why you're picking your guy.
Number one defense in the league. Like, the jump in what that defense was to what that defense is, I think, speaks for itself. And, yeah, we could be like, oh, y'all drafted well. We got 2 additions via draft. A bunch of those guys were there, just on the roster. Some guys were buried because, we had Fletcher Cox and a lot of the older guys in there, BG. But I think what he's turned us into, like, we had the biggest meltdown in arguably NFL history last year. The biggest question mark on our team was our defense. The year before that, same thing, defense. Our Super Bowl season, our biggest question mark was defense. As good as that defense was, the biggest question mark was still them. Fangio has, and this is the first time we've had the same head coach for an extended stretch, right? So from the last Super Bowl to now, we've had the same head coach. That's new for us. So not much has changed outside of the coaching room. A lot of those players are the same, right? We got 8 guys in new roles. But Fangio is really the one orchestrating it. He's the one making those calls. This defense takes away the ball. This defense doesn't give up a lot anywhere, running or passing. And that is strictly because of Fangio. Like, we got one guy nominated for Defensive Player of the Year, 2 guys nominated for Defensive Rookie of the Year. There's 11 guys on that defense. He's putting the rest of those guys in position to be the best defense in the league.
He's a Giants fan.
He need to let his the GM need to let his son make the decisions, because he said pick Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I'm going Vic Fangio. That's me.
No, that's respectable.
I'm going Vic Fangio. I feel like what he's done to that defense, like, and as an Eagles fan, I've sat here year after year and throw my hands up at our defense being ass or being mid. And like I said, he revitalized the.
Shout out to my guy, Just Saying Sports podcast.
He revitalized like what that defense could be. Like, we actually have linebacker play. That's my biggest takeaway. Like, as an Eagles fan, I am mad impressed with the fact that we have linebackers this year. Like, for the last several seasons, it was literally just we're rushing everybody up front and dropping people in the coverage, and we was giving up a shit ton of yards in between. This is the first time ever that he's utilizing coverage for the entire field. We're bringing pressure from different angles. Like, I just love the life that he's breathed into our defense.
All right. Well, and you guys have anything else that you guys want to add on? We're going to have another episode, guys, before Super Bowl weekend. So there's a lot more we're going to talk about as we get closer to the game. Like I said, make sure y'all stay tuned. February 9th, we are having a live Super Bowl party. Pull up if y'all not pulling up in real time live. We definitely having some guys pull up. Trippy, y'all know the guys that are going to be pulling up. It's going to be a lot of fun. But watch the game, but also watch us and join the comments so we can have some fun with it. Until next week, it's your boy Jones, my guy E, my guy Nico, and we Jones for Sports. We make sports better. Peace.